Good evening. Well, early afternoon, I reckon, 4:38 on a Sunday, December the 5th, I believe. Hope everybody's been having a good life. I've been getting deeper, a little bit of different level of meditation here lately. This morning was in it for a while. I had meditated the other morning and I had a vision of a train, and it seemed to have been going over the water, like the tracks were underwater, and I'm not exactly sure what all that means. I know what I saw. I don't know that if there's a train that goes over the water. I don't know if there's a train wreck that winds up in the water. I'm not sure. This morning was a good meditation. God has been speaking to me a lot lately. It's really crazy, and it's so obvious. I keep working on myself every day. I would not say obsessed. That's a little extreme, but I'm very observant. I'm very much aware of the negative. Every day is so crazy that I'm becoming more and more aware of it. I'm so weird. It's so hard to explain. It's like I'm so conscious of everything, every thought, and everything that's bad. Worrying about this or worrying about that. Oh my God, it's crazy. I'm getting rid of it. The power behind that is incredible. I mean, the more you do that, the more at peace you become. And I've said this before, and the more at peace you become, the more powerful you become, the more in control you become. You start gaining power over everything. Think about that. Once you gain control of you control everything. There's so much energy that's involved with that, especially when it comes to manifesting. And if you're able to connect to energy, it's pretty much what I'm doing. It's like I'm becoming one with energy. And it's so crazy because I can feel this. I can feel this in my body. I feel this vibration, this pulsation inside my entire being, and I feel it all the time. It's the craziest thing. It's almost kind of like strumming a guitar string and the vibration from the strings. This is what it feels like. My ears are ringing like crazy. Left ear's ringing, right ear's ringing, high pitch, low pitch, all the time. Numbers all the time. I'm constantly getting numbers all day long. 144 is one number that I've been seeing a lot of lately. 144, 1144, 444. I'm seeing these numbers a lot, multiple times in a day, more than I can even count. And the meanings behind them are incredible. It's amazing to me that how I'm connecting to God, the next world, the spiritual world. I'm connecting more to that. I'm becoming more to that. This morning, meditating, and I got this sensation over my body. I could feel this rush, and I was deep, and I could feel my lips moving, and it wasn't under my control. And I'm aware of this, even though I know I'm meditating. I'm deep in meditation. I'm still aware. I see what I'm seeing. These images that I'm seeing. I remember one particular image of a person, and they were wearing a robe. I could see this, and the face just didn't seem human. It was really strange. Not evil though, not demonic, like a demon or something, but it just wasn't human. And I could feel my lips and my jaws, my face, like it was deforming. And I started to speak another language. I've done this before, but it was really strange. It didn't last very long. The speaking might have snapped me out of meditation momentarily, maybe got me out of my subconscious momentarily. And this is new for me. This is like another level. I just came out of the energy upgrade. Had a really good connection with God this morning, Jesus, the man. And I believe that's what's going on is I may have been possessed by Jesus, the man. I know that sounds crazy, or God. I do remember saying to enter me, to come into me while I was meditating. So I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it happened. I had a really good day at work. I worked in my cashier job today, and I had a lot of peace. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. 3 o'clock came around this afternoon, and I was working on my close to 80 hours for the week. And then this is me after 80 hours in the week. This is how I am all the time. And I tell people how many hours I work and how much I do. And this is how I am all the time, even after 80 hours a week. I don't allow that to show on me. I represent God, and I'm not saying that me not showing emotion or showing pain or sorrow or whatever means anything, but I'm at peace. Even though I may feel tired, may have a headache, which I don't have often. Very seldom do I get headaches and feel bad. I'm probably in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. But even though I'm tired, I still represent God. And it's not something I'm intentionally doing. This is natural. This is what I am. This is who I am. Every time I get rid of the negative thoughts, I get rid of it. I give it to God. This is what I'm doing. I'm giving this to God. He said, lay all your burdens to me. And this is not something that I've got circling around in my head. Okay, this is a negative thought. Give all your burdens to God. This is something I'm just doing naturally. When I'm getting rid of it, I'm not getting rid of it with the thought to say, God said, lay all your burdens to me. I already know this. I don't need to say that I'm going to do this to get rid of it, to lay all my burdens to God. It's a natural thing for me to just get rid of it. And I know, without having to think it or say it, that this is in God's hands. And a lot of people have a really hard time doing this. And I hear a lot of people agree with me when I talk about this, almost kind of like they're in the same situation. But it's very hard. It's very rare for people to not stay out of their heads, to not think about the past, to not think about the future. It's very hard for people to not do that, and I can see that on their face. And I can tell the people just by their expression and behind their eyes that they're in misery, they're in pain, they're having a really hard time to stay away from the ego, a conscious mind. Some people just can't shut it up. They don't know how. It's been so loud. And through life, and every day waking up with miseries and pains and new sorrows and new problems, you're training it every day. You train it more and more and more. And when you get older, it's wore you out. It's wore you down. That's pretty much ultimately what's aging humans. People that don't carry a lot of stress and worry and misery and pain, they don't age much. They age, but it's not showing on their face. I'm a very healthy person, and this is part of it as well. Becoming more conscious of what I put in my body, ingredients of products that I buy, all these things. I'm very much aware, and this is not something that I'm working on. And this is the crazy thing about it. And I've said this in my videos before. This is what I am. This is who I am. This is very easy for me to do. It's came natural so much that I'm not forcing myself. It's not like it's a religion, let's say, for instance, or I know a guy that lifts weights. He's a bodybuilder and he does it for competition. And it's a religion for him. He gets up in the morning and he pops his, his pills or whatever they're called. I don't know. He probably would know. But anyway, these shakes. He's eating 5,000 calories a day. I mean, he's really working hard. He's making himself miserable because I've seen him torture himself and him just be angry all the time, upset. That's him working at it. He's working very hard to do that. It's a religion. He worships this, let's say. I don't, even though what I'm doing is could be considered a religion maybe, or an obsession. It's not like an obsession of a woman, like you're in a relationship, you're obsessed with your wife or your girlfriend, or I'm obsessed with cigarettes or alcohol or porn. It's not that type of obsession. It's natural. I don't have to work at it. A lot of people are tense with these obsessions. They have to, they're fiending for it. If they don't have it, they're irritable, they're miserable. It's who I am. It's very hard to explain. It's just who I am. It's what I am. And I don't know how to explain it to where you could understand it. Maybe some do understand. I don't know. Becoming more and more aware now of myself, the negative, the things that would necessarily, I guess, weigh me down. It's impossible to be Christ. But it is not impossible to be Christ-like. It's almost kind of like what I'm going through is being Christ-like. Jesus Christ, the man, was love. He preached it. He taught it. He was very quick to call people out if they were being hypocritical and a sinner or whatever, the stuff that they necessarily shouldn't be doing. And very loving man. I often wondered, in the Bible you hear about Jesus when he was born, until you heard about 12 years old, I guess, but you never heard or read what happened between, let's say, 12 years old to, I don't know, 25 or 26 or 27. I think he was 32 when he died. Maybe, I'm not 100% certain. But what was he doing? I know he did some carpentry. I believe what God was doing, what Jesus was doing, was going through a transformation, going through an awakening, maybe, like I mentioned, being born again of the Spirit. There's a story in the Bible where Jesus fasted for 40 days and he was hungered, is what it said. He was hungry. And the devil came and tempted him 3 times, even at his weakest state, Jesus' weakest state. He was hungry, starving. Satan came, powerful. Satan's very powerful. People are so easily controlled and drawn in by him. They don't even realize how powerful he is. Manipulate you. Could be whispering in your ear and you would never even know it, and make you think that you're going crazy. And you go see a psychiatrist and you get diagnosed with being bipolar, schizophrenia, or whatever. He's very powerful. And even him in God's weakest state, Jesus' weakest state, he could not tempt Jesus at all. And that takes a lot. that would probably, I mean, even at his weakest state, it would take a lot for people, that even through people's minute, weakest, you know, going without a meal or something for a day or an afternoon, they're weak already. They wake up. By the end of the day, they go to bed and they have no energy left in them. Imagine 40 days of that, and people are already being tempted by the devil. Your temptations, what is it that has you tempted? That has you controlled? Because we are supposed to, God's in control, so we should be in control of ourselves. So, even at his weakest state, he couldn't tempt Jesus. And it makes you wonder what journey he went through in life before he got to that stage. What was it he had done? I mean, he was already pretty smart at 12 years old, according to the Bible. I don't know. But so much is going on in my life, and I don't really necessarily know what I was talking to. 16 minutes. I hadn't even realized I've been speaking for this long. I would like for people to be able to learn humility. Be humble. One of the hardest fruits of the Spirit for people to accomplish, because it's so hard to give God everything. Be humble. Allow God to take control. So many people are trying to be in control of something they have no control over. Humble yourself and allow God to take over. It's one of the hardest fruits of the Spirit. Some of the hardest, or one of the hardest. Patience being another one, especially this day and time. And so if we can work on that, things would be a whole lot easier. I wasn't necessarily sure how I was going to go into this video or what I was going to say. I've said that multiple times. All my videos are raw anyway. Whatever just comes to my head, I'll start speaking on it. I love you guys. And I hope things going well, and that they do go well for you. And at any time you need to contact me or leave a comment, feel free, please. I love you guys, and Godspeed.